Welcome to my bold and beautiful today's show channel. I hope today fantastic for everyone. Please hit the subscribes button and give this video thumbs up. Ridge's shocking marriage proposal, defying Eric for all the wrong reasons. Updates and spoilers for the bold and the beautiful suggest that when Ridge Forrester confronts Eric Forrester, he is adamant about his independence and refuses to let his father dictate his decisions. Ridge's defiance may lead him to perform a dramatic act to demonstrate his independence, but he may regret it on the CBS soap. Eric practically demanded that Brooke and Ridge reconcile. Ridge was close to being forced to see his true love by Eric this week. Brooke Logan longs for the day when her destiny will enter her life once more, ready to stay. However, the most recent B&B spoiler suggests that this reunion is extremely unlikely. It appears Eric is pushing Ridge to the brink by coaxing his son back into a relationship with Brooke. Despite Eric's claims of respect for Taylor Hayes, Ridge remains steadfast in his commitment to her, while Eric is convinced that true happiness lies with Brooke. The issue divides supporters. Eric's suit died in opposition to his son's relationship with Taylor divides supporters of the CBS soap opera. Some viewers believe Eric crossed a line, while others interpret his actions as a father's concern for his son, especially given Ridge's past. This father insists that Ridge should return to Brooke. The Forrester patriarch is well aware that Ridge has a tendency to gravitate back to his Logan. However, Eric's insistence may be pushing Ridge to his limits, especially when he points out that Ridge shows no commitment to Taylor, lacking even a marriage proposal. Ridge might be prompted to make a hasty decision that he might later regret. Ridge identifies his father's boss. According to upcoming spoilers, Ridge is ready to take charge of his life. It looks like he might propose to Taylor in a heartfelt way to show his love for her. During the Forrester Creations fashion show, Brooke is still enjoying her electric connection. Although Ridge's love for her remains unwavering, he feels their relationship is marred by past betrayals. Ultimately, Ridge views a future with Taylor as a more secure choice, as she consistently supports him. There are rumors that Ridge will propose to Taylor, which will undoubtedly cause conflict between Taylor, Ridge, and Brooke. Ridge puts Taylor in an awful situation. Ridge seems uncertain these days, often reflecting on his past with Brooke. Ridge appears to be asserting his independence from his father's influence over his life outside of FC with his marriage to Taylor rather than a romantic whirlwind. Ridge may also be attempting to reassure himself that he truly compliments Taylor with this impulsive proposal. However, Taylor must be deeply aware of the fact that if she ends up as an almost bride, it will be for all the wrong reasons. Steffy Forrester would unquestionably be in favor of her parents reconciling. It might seem good at first, but it could end badly since Ridge will always have feelings for Brooke Logan. Brooke is turned up at every turn. Even with a wedding ring, Brooke is unlikely to stop pursuing him and may become more cunning in her flirting. Ridge's life at FC will continue to include Logan, making temptation constant. If Ridge makes a proposal, will Taylor take it? She ought to be aware of the dangers that could arise from their marriage. Alternatively, she might finally use her skills as a psychiatrist to recognize the obverse issues. If Ridge does propose, it could create tension with his father, which isn't a good way to begin a marriage, and less drama is the goal for the CBS soap. Hope's Forrester return, Bill's promise to Liam, Deacon surprises Brooke. The bold and the beautiful spoilers for the next 3 weeks, from May 5th to May 23rd, reveal that Bill Spencer will make a promise to Liam Spencer and that Hope Logan's Forrester return is imminent. Let's get started and talk about what's in store, because Brooke Logan will also be surprised by Deacon Sharp. The week of May 5th to 9th will bring a difficult blow for Hope, who will finally find out about Liam's brain tumor and the fatal prognosis he's facing. Hope will get all the details from Steffy Forrester as they bond over how broken they are. Hope may concur that their most recent disagreements seem meaningless in light of Liam's difficult fight. Steffy and Hope may agree they need to focus on their energy on being there for Liam instead of clashing with each other. In the meantime, Brooke will be taken aback by Deacon's suggestions for Hope's next move. Although Deacon will feel like Hope and Liam should get back together, he obviously won't know Liam's terminally ill and may not have much of a future at all. In terms of Bill and Liam, there are some upsetting scenes that will bring them closer together. Liam and Bill may put all the conflict to rest once Liam updates his dad on his inoperable brain mass. Bill will likely promise Liam that he'll do everything in his power to find some miracle cure. Since Bill's used to tossing money at problems, he may vow to put his riches to good use and see if there's some new treatment that Liam's doctors aren't aware of yet. Liam may not have a lot of faith in that plan, but Bill surely won't want to give up without doing some research of his own and exploring every possible option. In an effort to make progress with John Finnegan, Luna Nozawa will then make an unwelcome appearance at the Cliff House, but he will continue to push her away. This visit could turn into a total disaster if Steffi walks in while Luna's still there in the living room with Finn. Will Luna face Steffi's wrath once again? During the week of May 12th to 16th, Luna and Sheila Sharp may commiserate over Steffi continuing to block their relationships with Finn. Will Spencer, who will be debating how long Electra Forrester is making him wait to take things to the bedroom, may also see another opportunity for Luna to strike. As for Hope, it looks like she'll make the apology that the Forresters are waiting for. Between that and this whole Liam ordeal, Steffi won't want to hold grudges anymore and will approve of Hope coming back to Forrester Creations. The week of May 19th to 23rd will leave Brooke feeling less hopeful about her reunion with Ridge. The closer B&B gets to Nick Marone's return in June, the more Brooke will start to believe Ridge isn't her future after all. Brooke may be persuaded that Ridge's commitment to her rival might be genuine if Ridge proposes to Taylor Hayes. Back with Liam, his worsening symptoms will take a toll. We'll see if Liam eventually tells his daughters that he's ill because it may become harder for him to keep Kelly Spencer and Beth Spencer from knowing what he's up to. According to the spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, the following 2 weeks will feature additional medical predictions and intense struggles. Steffi is the worst CEO for this reason. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers suggest it might be time for someone to step down from their position here. This is why Steffi is the worst CEO. Naturally, we are discussing Steffi Forrester because many of her fans appear to agree that she is the worst CEO that Forrester Creations has ever encountered.
This is because she mishandled Hope's line and made a poor decision when she turned down the jewelry line. In addition, she disregarded the agreement that Eric and Ridge had made and fired Hope out of personal animosity. Despite the obvious impact, Steffi now insists Brooke shouldn't have been in the show. She may have had business sense before, but she certainly has lost it. Here's hoping that her situation doesn't get any worse either. Steffi is making one bad decision after another. As many of our readers can imagine, the internet had a lot to say about the matter. Even the remark, "the sooner she takes her leave, the better," has been made by some. It will be nice to get a storyline that does not involve her for a little while. Must read, The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. Liam Spencer can't hide from reality. Hope makes a decision. Let's see other people's stories without her being involved. They might concentrate on Luna and Sheila. She abuses her power as CEO with that smirk on her face. She thinks she's the baddest bitch around and she's not, a supporter wrote. And then there was this comment as well. She brought Daphne to town to sabotage Hope and Carter's relationship. Carter does not deserve credit for exploiting that opportunity for the fragrance line. Ridge Forrester's shocking marriage proposal to Taylor Hayes, ignited not by undying romantic passion but as a bold act of defiance against his father Eric Forrester, marks one of the most emotionally complex and potentially disastrous decisions in recent Bold and the Beautiful history. A decision that rips open generations of familial tension, loyalty, and heartbreak, and sets the stage for a slow-motion collapse of everything Ridge thinks he's fighting for. As Ridge stands at the intersection of love, pride, and rebellion, it's clear that his next move isn't just about choosing between two women, it's about trying to sever himself from the grip of a father who has dominated every aspect of his life, both personally and professionally, for decades. When Eric takes it upon himself to direct Ridge's love life with the same overbearing authority that has long defined their father-son dynamic, he is still recovering from his near-death experience and seeking to put his own legacy in order. This is the beginning of the brewing storm. Eric puts his cards on the table, insisting that Ridge's true destiny lies with Brooke Logan. Ridge, still trying to heal from their last encounter with Brooke, is not in the mood to have a reunion. Ridge sees the patriarchal pushback as another attempt to control Eric and mold his life to fit an idealized vision that Eric refuses to let go of, a vision in which the Logan matriarch reigns forever as the queen of the Forrester dynasty. Eric frames the patriarchal pushback as concern, but Ridge sees it for what it really is. But Ridge is no longer the man who blindly obeys. He's bruised, restless, desperate to assert autonomy not only from Eric but from the toxic cycle of reconciliation and betrayal that has long defined his relationship with Brooke. In a move that seems less about love and more about protest, Ridge rushes headlong into a decision to propose marriage to Taylor, the woman who has always been his quiet place, his refuge, and, more importantly in this moment, the antithesis of everything Eric wants for him. Ridge sees Taylor's proposal as an opportunity to demonstrate to Eric, as well as the rest of the world, that he alone is the author of his own story and that his future is not shaped by his father's expectations but rather by his own hand. However, what initially appears to be a romantic gesture quickly turns out to have numerous flaws. The urgency, timing, and context all scream response rather than revelation. Taylor, on the other hand, is pleased but hesitant. As a trained psychiatrist, she senses the complexity behind Ridge's sudden proposal. She sees the ghosts of Brooke haunting every glance, hears the echoes of defiance in Ridge's tone rather than the softness of devotion, and begins to question if she's stepping into a marriage built on resentment instead of love. It's not lost on Taylor that Ridge didn't propose to her out of a deep-rooted desire to build a life together but to send a message to his father, and to himself. And yet, torn between longing and caution, she teeters on the edge of saying yes, knowing full well the heartbreak that could await. Meanwhile, Brooke watches from the shadows, devastated but still hopeful. Following their undeniable connection at the most recent Forrester fashion show, she had assumed Ridge would return to her. She felt their bond rekindle with every glance, every memory that danced between them like a shared secret. However, the news that Ridge has proposed to Taylor now carries the potential to break her once more, perhaps for good. Brooke begins to confront the painful truth that maybe Ridge isn't her destiny after all, especially as Nick Marone's impending return looms on the horizon, offering a possible new chapter for Brooke that doesn't include Ridge or his perpetual indecision. Brooke, on the other hand, never goes unnoticed. Her resolve to fight for Ridge resurfaces, and her tactics become more nuanced, more strategic. Ridge is reminded of what they once shared and what is still simmering beneath the surface when Brooke increases her presence in Ridge's daily life at Forrester Creations in light of Taylor's engagement. With a new twist, the triangle that has defined the bold and the beautiful for decades re-emerges. Ridge is no longer divided by passion alone but rather by pride, legacy, and the urgent desire to reclaim control. The repercussions of Ridge's proposal extend beyond the personal to the business world. Steffy Forrester, who has supported the reunification of her parents for a long time, is pleased about the engagement because she is convinced that this union will bring about the long-awaited healing of the family. However, she remains blind to the deeper undercurrents threatening to drown them all. As fans and employees alike begin to question her recent decisions, such as firing Hope, rejecting jewelry lines, and incorporating personal vendettas into business strategy, her position as CEO of Forrester Creations becomes even more precarious. With Ridge now using marriage as a chess piece in a larger power game, Steffy mirrors his actions by tightening control over FC, determined to show that her family's influence is stronger than ever. But by doing so, she only makes herself more isolated, especially from Hope, who is about to make a big comeback to Forrester Creations. Hope's reentry, softened by apologies and fueled by her devastation over Liam's terminal brain tumor, threatens to shift power balances yet again. The conflict over FC returns with a vengeance, with Hope gaining the support of Ridge and others and Steffy reeling from internal criticism. The extended Forrester, Logan, and Spencer families are shocked by Liam's prognosis at the same time. His revelation not only heals broken relationships, like the growing bond between Hope and Steffy, but it also inspires Bill Spencer to put all of his resources into a last-ditch effort to discover a miracle cure. Bill's promise to Liam becomes a mission, one that threatens to consume him emotionally and financially. Meanwhile, Deacon Sharp steps into the drama with a surprising twist. Despite his feelings for Brooke, he advises her to reconsider her obsession with Ridge, especially as Ridge seems to be moving on, however chaotically. Deacon, like Brooke, is shaken by Hope's pain and Liam's condition, and he attempts to refocus Brooke's energy on their daughter rather than clinging to a man who's proving, once again, that he may not deserve her heart. Luna's unwelcome visit to Finn at the Cliff House again causes more chaos. Her persistence in reconnecting with him, despite Steffi's clear boundaries, triggers another round of conflict, especially if Steffi catches them together. Sheila Carter may provide Luna, who is having trouble figuring out where she belongs. The two women, bonded by rejection and resentment, could form a dangerous alliance aimed at destabilizing Steffi's world, both personally and professionally. In the background, Will Spencer's annoyance at Electra Forrester's reluctance to start a relationship adds yet another layer of youthful passion and rebellion to an already complicated story. The gaps widen as Ridge and Taylor move forward with their wedding plans. Every time Taylor spots Ridge in a moment of silence, lost in thought, and staring out at the sea of memories that haunt him, she confirms Taylor's suspicions that Ridge is still emotionally bound to Brooke. The wedding planning becomes less about joy and more about delay. Ridge, perhaps subconsciously, sabotaging the process with indecision, Taylor bracing for the inevitable heartbreak. And as he watches everything with quiet disappointment, Eric is aware that his attempt to direct his son's heart has only caused more confusion. He begins to question whether his push toward Brooke was worth the rift it caused, especially as he sees Ridge building a future on shaky ground. The Forrester legacy is once again in danger of collapse, not from external enemies, but from the internal war between pride, loyalty, and longing. As May marches on, Ridge's proposal may indeed lead to a wedding, but it will not lead to peace. Whether Taylor becomes a bride or another casualty in Ridge's eternal tug-of-war remains to be seen. What's clear is that the proposal, born of rebellion rather than resolution, will unleash consequences that reverberate through every corner of the bold and the beautiful universe, forcing everyone, from Steffi to Hope, Brooke to Deacon, Eric to Bill, to realize how they fit into the never-ending cycle of love and betrayal. Ridge thought a ring could silence doubt, but instead, it amplifies the question that's haunted him for decades. Is his heart his own, or merely a reflection of the expectations of everyone who's ever tried to claim it? The show's core triangle doesn't feel resolved because Ridge's future is in doubt and Brooke's hope is fading. Instead, it feels reborn and poised for an explosive reckoning that could finally force each character to face the truth they've been avoiding. That love, no matter how passionate it is, cannot thrive when used as a weapon. Can Taylor withstand being selected in the wrong way? Can Brooke really let go of Ridge? Can Ridge escape the father who shaped his world, only to discover that he has lost himself along the way? One thing is for certain: as another dramatic Friday cliffhanger ends, the answers will cost them all a lot more than they could have ever imagined. Steffi's emotional plea to Liam Carter's promise to Hope. The Bold and the Beautiful reveals that Steffi Forrester will make an emotional plea to Liam Spencer while Carter Walton makes a promise to Hope Logan. Carter has been putting in a lot of effort at Brooke Logan's house to persuade Hope that they belong together. Hope was already moved back in Carter's direction by Liam's recent motivational speech, but Carter has been making his own pitch. Is it possible that Hope is also ready to start from scratch now that she is more receptive to what is being said and able to let go of her rage? If she just gives him the yes he's been waiting for, Carter and Hope could begin a new chapter together. Naturally, Hope might put off making a decision for a while longer. Hope might express a willingness to try fixing things between them even if she doesn't officially reunite with Carter just yet. May B&B spoilers indicate that Carter worked hard to win Hope over. Hope may receive a promise from Carter that he will do whatever it takes to demonstrate himself and strengthen their relationship. Steffi will make an emotional plea to Liam at the Cliff House. Steffi will attempt to persuade Liam to change his mind about keeping his secret from Hope, despite his insistence. Liam's admission to Hope about his inoperable brain mass is unquestionably justified. Steffi will remind Liam of how much Hope loves him, and she'll think Hope needs to know about his condition for Beth Spencer's sake, too. However, Liam may admit to Steffi that he just can't bring himself to say the words "I'm dying" to Hope or anyone else right now. Will Liam ask Steffi to tell Hope for him, or will Steffi just decide it's best if she blabs? In any case, Steffi will pay Brooke a visit from May 5th to 9th to get ready to update Hope on Liam's bleak outlook.